This is a quick video showing you how we can find the quadratic equation by completing this square. Now, if I have the equation y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, and first of all, I need to factorize out the a. So I am going to do that there. It's fine with the x squared, but if I take an a out of here, it's actually, I need to divide it by a so that when I times that a in, it disappears. And same for my c. Now I've done square, sorry, that's an a. So when now I've just got an equation with just x squared. Now, if you can remember from completing the square, what we need to do is take half of my coefficient of x. So I've still got my a. Now, x plus b over 2a is half of my coefficient of x, all squared. When I multiply this out, I'm going to have my middle term, and I'm going to have an extra constant multiplied by itself. So it'll be minus b squared over 4a squared, which is just that squared. And of course, I've still got my c over a over there. So that is pretty much completing my square. I'm going to tidy this up a little bit. So let's just have a look at that. I've got x plus b over 2a squared. Now here, I would like to have a common denominator. So it'll be 4a squared. So I need to times the top and the bottom here by 4a over 4a. So I'll have minus b squared. So I'm just going to plus that, and minus b squared plus 4ac all over 4a squared. I might have regrets about that later, but let's see. Now, when we're looking at this, I now want to do my second part, which is finding my x-intercepts. Now we know that my x-intercepts are where y equals 0. So I'm going to have y equal to 0 on the left. So 0 equals all of this. Yep. And I am going to divide through by my a. So if I divide this side by a, it's going to disappear, and 0 divided by a, so that has gone. Divide by a, and that means it's releasing these brackets over here. So I am going to have just this. I'll write it all out just so that we can see where we're at. X plus b over 2a all squared plus minus b squared plus 4ac over 4a squared. Now I just need to take this to the other side. So minus b squared plus 4ac over 4a squared. I could have written that better. Anyway. Oh. And that's still squared. So I hope you are happy with that bit. Then I am going to square root both sides. But first, I'm actually just going to multiply this negative into both those terms. So that's going to become a plus, and that's going to become a minus. So now my square rooting will work. So square root of b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared, that whole thing. It's going to be a positive and a negative, and I'm going to have on this side just that because I've square rooted both sides. So that's going to cancel with that. So now I have x and I need to just take this bit to the other side. So it's going to be minus b over 2a plus or minus. Now here, because the square root is to this whole thing, you can actually apply it to the numerator and to the denominator. So I'm just going to do it in a separate little bit. So this is going to be b squared minus 4ac over the square root of 4a squared. Now, 4 and a squared are both square numbers, so that can totally square root. So let's do that. Minus b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over square root of 4 is 2, square root of a squared is a. Now, please remember, I can square root it because there's no plus or minus. They are just multiplied, and that's all good. And as you can see, they've got a common denominator. So minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a equals x. So that is how we get the quadratic formula. You don't need to know how to get the quadratic formula, but it is a good manipulative test to see your algebra skills, and it's also nice to see where everything comes from.